So here in the Houston Galveston area, we have a wide variety of water users, from commercial fishermen, recreational fishermen, and just those that come to Texas to enjoy our beaches. And with that, unfortunately, comes folks who have a very bad day out on the water. So the last year has been quite a challenge for us. We've seen an increase in recreational boaters on the water. We have seen an increase in commercial vessel transits through our area, and there's been an increased dependence on shipping via the water to get things moving throughout the economy.
So on a daily basis, we're looking at anywhere from 15 to 20 cases pertaining to maritime search and rescue, marine environmental pollution, and marine safety cases.
We have some interesting weather to contend with. Of course, there's always the threat of hurricanes that threaten the Gulf every year. Fortunately, this year we've been pretty lucky. I wish there was some wood I could knock on for that. But the biggest threat that gets us on a daily basis are just the pop-up thunderstorms and squalls.
Myself, my wife Sherry, and our cat Busy decided to go on a month-and-a-half or more sailboat vacation to the Bahamas. We headed out of Freeport Harbor, and in about 3 days we were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. The wind was dying. It completely died. The water was just completely flat, like a desert almost. We had to make a decision. Let's turn around while we got plenty of provisions, and we'll head back, and we'll do this another time. On our way back, we experienced an engine failure. That's okay because we had sails. We sailed all the way up to about 90 miles out. At about that time, the wind started picking up. It kept getting worse and worse. We realized then that we were in the middle of a storm. It started ripping our sails on the boom of the mast there. We didn't have any control over the boat at all. I mean, you had to hold on to two things at one time. You couldn't take a step without because the boat was just like this the whole time. We had been sailing 24 hours a day for about 2.5 days. There was no time to eat anything, it's just secure yourself. We were so tired and just fatigued and just like, we got to get some sleep or something's going to happen. The anchor's going to give way and we're not going to be able to do anything, That's when we said, we need to call the Coast Guard. Good to see you again.
They lost their engine, so they were kind of just at the mercy of Mother Nature at that point.
They told us when we were on our way out that there was going to be a cat, and I think one of the concerns, they were just like, as long as the cat's not going to go crazy and attack the pilots, then we would be perfectly fine pulling it in.
My wife had Busy in a book backpack on her when she jumped in the water. I couldn't even watch because when she hit, she went completely underwater with the bag and then resurfaced. And when she did, she had the cat up above her.
I did feel a little bit bad for the cat when I found out that it was in a bag.
Yeah.
So we're just clear water. Clear up back to back.
When they got in the helicopter, Sherry undid the bag, and Busy's head popped out, and everybody got a good laugh out of it. Even to this day, we're standing here talking about it. My heart is it's a crazy feeling to relive that whole thing again, and they're just like, yeah, well, that's what we do,
About 3 or 4 years ago, we went to England to build this boat. We've designed it to sail around the world, and we launched out of England in July of 22, and we sailed through several islands all the way across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, and then up to Florida. So we're used to being out there. And then we sailed across the Gulf. The Gulf seemed the most treacherous water we've been in so far.
You gotta watch a lot for the oil rigs, and some of them aren't lit up.
And so I had been up at the helm for about 50 hours when we had mechanical troubles. And then we hit a squall with 6 to 10 foot seas about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just could not keep the boat on course. And it caused the boat to be sideways in the wave, and we almost rolled the boat twice. And that's when I was worried about Jill's life. And we made the decision to call the Coast Guard.
They were approximately 60 miles off the coast of Galveston. Took us a couple hours to get there, so thank God they were still okay whenever we got there.
There was a feeling of relief when we seen the big ship come up, the big vessel come up.
We got on scene, did a circle around the vessel to make sure that the scene was safe. The vessel was actually at anchor. Let them know that we were going to launch our small boat and that we were going to pull them off of their sailboat. So we made our way over there. I made a couple of different approaches because the sailboat was at anchor. It was making it very tough in the seas. Every time I would make an approach, it would kind of push them up into the swells.
Hold on.
What we ultimately ended up doing is just nosing in and giving it some throttle, kind of pushing the two boats together where they weren't able to separate and go up a swell and slam into each other. We got Jill off first, and we kind of moved her along the side, and the whole time she was screaming, and it was scary for all of us. It was very scary for her. I can't imagine that first time being in those seas.
Oh, I was terrified. I was crying, and it was a very scary moment, but I knew we were going to be okay.
I do feel like the Coast Guard came out and saved our lives. These young men and women are trained to rescue people, and I know that they save hundreds of lives a year, and it's got to be a benefit to everyone that's out on a boat to know that they have the United States Coast Guard behind them.